Hello everyone, my name is Kinfey. I am Microsoft 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗶𝐿. Welcome to my session. This is the on-demand sessions for Bill. Let's go to my session now. And then, if you want to learn something interesting, is a large language model or is very popular now. But this time, I will talk about another things is SLM. But what we will focus SLM maybe how we need to some tools. SLM is very good for the enterprise applications. Of course, LLM is very good, but this time, if you are an enterprise a developer or enterprise company, maybe you need to SLM to do what you want. So this session, I will introduce more to let you to know how to use some tools to build your enterprise generative AI applications with Microsoft Oliver. Let's go again. This is the agenda. I will talk about 4 topics. The one topic is what is SLM. The second topic is how to use SLM. The third is introduce Microsoft Oliver. I love Microsoft Oliver because this is very good tools for you to use these tools to fine-tuning SLM model and deploy model, and of course it can help you to convert model to deploy in different edge devices. The last thing I think you love these things is the do the demo. So this is the 4 topics to talk about this. Let's go. The first thing is what is the SLM? Maybe some people to know. OpenAI is very popular. Of course, Meta has a very good large language model in open source now. But why we talk about SLM? Because large language model has many good things. Just like I would always talk about LLM is the encyclopedia Britannia books. Yeah, it know many things, many knowledge. If you ask the large language model, it will give you the answers. But SLM just focus one thing. If just like a book, AI, artificial intelligence, or some single directions, but SLM has the skill as a large language model, but it has very few data. So this time, why we choose SLM, or why we talk about SLM? Because large language model is very popular now, but we can see this. Maybe large language model need more computation power, just like NVIDIA GPU, just like some memory. If you are a developer or company, if you use large language model in your business scenario, maybe it can use more, or in you need to dependency many monies. Yeah. But this time SLM can give you less computations power. Just like you can save your money to do some research. Of course, large language model has very expensive to invest, but SLM can let you to low prices. Of course, if you want to deploy the SLM in the device, maybe it can give you more choices, not just only in the cloud or the more or machine. If you can use SLM to deploy to the small devices or edge computing scenario. I love SLM, just like you can deploy the SLM in your mobile. Or maybe you can deploy the SLM in AI PC for your local environment. It's very easy. You can use your laptop to consume SLM. This is very good scenario. Another thing is the accessibility. Because many people or developer to want to use the language model to generative some applications. Just like you can use the SLM to finish some your business scenario. If you want to research a large language model, you need to do more, or just like not just the hardware. You need to find more data scientists to do this. But SLM is very easy. You can use the smaller team or individual researchers to help you to explore the power of language models without infrastructure investment. This time accessibility is very good. SLM give you many people has many research chance. Another thing is the customizations. You can use frightening in the model very easy. If you use SLM, you can use frightening to set set your business data very easily. Another thing is you can own the SLM and to save the SLM model in your in structured hardwares. This time SLM has many provision. But what SLM is good. We can know that this time Hugging Face has many SLM models. But in this session, I will introduce five series model. This is come from Microsoft Research. In 5.1, this is the version, very easy version, because Microsoft want to use the small data to tell you if you get the very good data, you can generate some result better than more big argument models. Just like 5.1, we focus some coding, use Python and data to training 5.1. You can see the models larger train more on 100% more data. It has very good performance. It just 1.3 billions. Another thing is the 5.1. 5.1 is very good because code not just focus coding. It can give you the test completion and check as a scenario. It just 1.3 billions. It gives the very good result, more than the large language model. And then 5.2 is where we add more all data, 2.7 billion parameters language model. It can give you the very good result now. But at this time, maybe before build, we publish Microsoft 5.3 models. 5.3 models. This time you can download the mini version in Hugging Face. Yeah, 5.3 mini 4K in structure or 128K in structure. I love 5.3 models because you can choose different models in different environment. Just like you can use the 5.3 mini model to deploy to mobile edge device, your AI PC. Low computations, these mean 5.3 models are low cost and low latency. Ability is very easy, faster and cheaper. You can frightening or customize the 5.3 model very easily. Of course, if you use edge devices, maybe you can local influence the model. I tried some testing in just an Opwin device. It can run 5.3 models very easily. Let us to see some demos to how to call the 5.3 model. Let me to jump to the. This is the Visual Studio Code. Maybe you can see the 5.3 model. We have three formats to talk about the model: GGOF and Hugging Face model or some honest model. you can see some people love to use honest model to deploy to edge devices, and Hugging Face model you can call server as the local server, and GGUF maybe you can deploy the model format to the different devices. So this time I will give you the samples is the local server. Firstly, you can see the logo I use semantic kernel is very, if I deploy the 5 mini models in the local server, it can tell you the 5 models how to this is the 5 models server with Python, and use .NET semantic kernel to call all the samples. You can see it gives the good result here. Maybe this is the traditional how to use the SLM, but another time if you want to build in the edge device, how to do this? Maybe you can use the honest model. I write the honest model here. You can see the honest model. You can use the notebook here. You can see I call the honest model. It gives you another results here. 5 model support honest. You can download the honest model in Hugging Face now. You can see I write this. It can give the good result from honest model. Yeah. The last is the GGUF. Maybe GGUF is very popular containerized. I think INT4 is very popular GGUF model. Yeah. 5 minute 4K instructor INT4 GGUF model. You can very easy to call it. Just like here, I use the open source project Llama Edge projects to call GGUF. You can see I run the WebSim Edge model here. You can see it will build a server to call the large language model now. And I will open the website. You can see the website. This is the large Llama Edge mod website to talk about this. You can see it's very easy to call. If you deploy a large Llama Edge in JSON devices, it can run very easy. Maybe we can talk about more later. And let's go back to the PPT. Of course, many SLM model is very popular, just like 5e now. We can use this very easily. But Microsoft always publish another model. This is the OCA model, teaching SLM how to reason. OCA is now version 2. Maybe you can try to do this to do more. I think this time, maybe some people say, oh, SLM has very good performance, good result. Maybe it can replace LLM. But I don't think so, because SLM can be used as a supplement to LLMs, such as content security, industry rules, and fixed content. So the two content are not subtitles, but complete terms. The future is the mixture of SLM and LLMs. SLMS is advantage is the even great in edge device, just like your AI PC, just like your or mobile. But SLM has very good to deploy it or inference. But large language model has is very good result or good for a different area. So if you want to say SLM will replace LLM, not good. I think I don't think so. Another is the SLM maybe play a helpful role in large language model healthization, reducing the impact of the healthization. Yeah. But some people say, oh, if I am an enterprise or company, how to let the SLM in my scenario? maybe we talk about the word. The word I set the four items. The one item is the data. The second item is the algorithm and the evaluation and deployment. Why I say this? Because we want to let the SLM to focus our business scenario or LLM. We need to focus these four things. Maybe the data. In the company, we have many data sources. How to organize the data to let the SLM or LLM to know your business is very important, because we know that LLM or SLM don't know your business if you not give the data or give to use frightening or RAG applications. Another thing is how to cooperation of the multiple data sources within the enterprise. This is important because we have many data sources. How to find the business data is important. Another thing is how to efficient organize data, and data security is important. Many people think, I use the large language model. Maybe my data is very important thing is the security. They worry about the data to use to trading or use to do another things in AI. So the data is important things. Other thing is the algorithm. Many people to use the data to frightening or RAG. How to do this? Maybe you can use the 𝗲𝗲 or 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗲 algorithm. 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗲 is very good. 𝗲𝗲 is very good, but how to choose this? Maybe sometimes I use 𝗲𝗲, sometimes I use 𝗦𝗲𝗲. So this is another question. And if we finish, we choose the algorithm, maybe we need to choose parameters tuning or compute. Is important too. How to use the compute? How to use the algorithm using compute to get the result? Because if you use AI, maybe the hardware compute investment is important. Local compute or cloud compute is your business. Because local compute you can do more but invest more, but in cloud compute you need to set how to let data to fine-tuning or in the cloud. Another thing is the relations. I think many people not only just focus the algorithm on data, because when you fine-tuning the SLM, the new model, how to set this model is good. Model performance is important. Another thing is the prompt validate. How to use the prompt to talk about the to call or the SLM to get the result as the good result as Azure OpenAI service, OpenAI model. Yeah, efficiency is important too. Another thing is the storage. Maybe if you want to deploy the SLM in edge devices, the storage is important, because edge devices has very limited storage. Maybe the SLM you need how to change the sizes to deploy to the edge devices is important. Another thing is deployment. When you're training your model, you said, oh, you get the evaluations very good, algorithm very good, data very good, but you want to let your model to deploy in different devices, just like mobile, just like PC, just like some IoT devices. But this time, deployment is very hard, because if you need to focus the format, just like Microsoft 5V, it gives you deploy model in different formats now, but how to let the different devices to get the good performance is another problem. And then model comparisons is good. It is important to response and iterator. So this is the four majors for on SLM application. Of course, you can say this is for LLM application too. Microsoft has very full scenario for you. Just like some data you can use Microsoft Fabric. Some algorithm you can use fine-tuning in Azure AI Studio or Azure Machine Learning Studio. Another thing is the evaluation. You can use prompt flow, and then the last thing is deployment. You can use our model as service functions. But this time you can see SLM plus Azure Machine Learning. You can see Microsoft Fabric can give you the data support. This is the unique data platform. Another thing is the Lakehouse. Lakehouse can build data based on business. Another thing is the cloud plus local data integrations. So if you want to use data to SLM, maybe Microsoft Fabric can help you. Another thing is the prompt flow. Prompt flow is the open source project. It can help you to some evaluations, the result, model comparable or business for flow integrations. Not only just the model, you can inject your business flow in the prompt flow to evaluation. The model is good for your business or not good for your business. Another thing is honest runtime. Maybe honest runtime is not just for the generative AI or SLM. It publish in AI scenario before. It can help you to build the cross-platform support and response, and some convert in different formats to capability. If you want to use SLM with Azure using Microsoft technology, you can change the honest runtime to support multi devices support. So this time you can see if we have data now, prompt flow evaluation on this runtime to support cross-platform devices. Microsoft can support this technology, but of course the base is Azure in Azure Machine Learning, including some compute or Hugging Face to support this. You can call different SLM models in Hugging Face in of course Azure Machine Learning or Azure AI Studio support model catalog now. You can use this to do. Another thing is to support your compute. NVIDIA compute is very good. So this time we can talk about SLM ops from data, fine-tuning, evaluation, and deployment is important. So Azure Machine Learning or Azure AI Studio is the baseline support this circle. How to do this? Maybe some people say, oh, you need to set many steps in Azure Machine Learning. Do we have some tools to support this? Maybe I can suggest you to use our open source project, Microsoft 𝗬𝗲𝗻. Microsoft 𝗬𝗲𝗻 is very good tools for SLM or SLM ops scenario. We can see Microsoft 𝗬𝗲𝗻 is very easy to set different steps in SLM ops. Just like you can set the data set, set the Azure ML compute, and convert a format in Microsoft 𝗬𝗲𝗻. It can have some runtime. You can use HML. Of course, if you not use HML, you can use the local compute, just like GPU, CPU, or direct ML to support this. Fine-tuning, you can choose different algorithm, just like QRoLA or Aurora in Microsoft 𝗬𝗲𝗻 settings. Another thing is the convert. You can convert the fine-tuning model or Hugging Face model in Honest, deploy it very easy in cloud or edge devices. So this time you can access this link you can access this link and to to access Microsoft 𝗦𝗲𝗀. It's very easy to do this. We can see the Pi9 Microsoft 𝗦𝗲𝗀 making the SLM of process easy. Frightening, including some Windows AI Studio. You can use Windows AI Studio to finish the frightening. Of course, you can use the Azure AI Studio to frightening too. And inference, you can use the Microsoft 𝗦𝗲𝗀 in your local environment to inference the model, set some inference model, and deployment the model in Azure or in the edge devices. So you can see this scenario. This is the hybrid solutions. You can use the microserver to control all the data fine-tuning and evaluation and deployment Pi9. Maybe we can talk about 𝗦𝗲𝗀 config as service. Why I talk about this? You can see Microsoft 𝗦𝗲𝗀 is the all the tools is the JSON format. You can see the format. If I want to use the Hugging Face, you can set the Hugging Face model name and some setting task test generation. Here I use the five tool models. Another thing is the some model script. You can set the Python script here. Another thing is the model format is the PyTorch model. Yeah. Another thing is you can choose the Microsoft 𝗦𝗲𝗀 config to choose Azure AI Studio model catalog. Just like here, you can use the Hugging Face model and set the Microsoft model catalog here. So it's very easy to control all the model what you want. Maybe you can set the model in the local in local tool. Another thing is the compute. If you not set the compute, if Microsoft 𝗦𝗲𝗀 will set your local compute for the SLM. But if you set the compute just like here, Azure ML, we will call the Azure ML compute. Of course, you can set the Azure ML cluster for your GPU. You can set this. Another thing is the algorithm. Algorithm is very interesting because the QRoller is very popular now. You can set the QRoller algorithm here in the Microsoft 𝗦𝗲𝗀.config files to let the compute let the Azure or your local compute to know, oh, you use the algorithm to fine tuning your model here. Another this is very important thing. I love to use 𝗦𝗲𝗀.config because it can help you to convert honest model. Just like here, it can help you to honest conversation model or some honest runtime transformers optimism. Another thing is you can change the model is FP16, FP32, or INT4. So this time, maybe the 𝗦𝗲𝗀.config is the full scenario to support. Maybe we can see the Copilot stack. Some people want to see focus some applications. So generative AI application is very popular now. But this time, if we have some Microsoft 𝗦𝗲𝗀, maybe we can talk more about in the infra. Just not only focus the application because the infra is very important. Just like the model selection, you can choose the model in Hugging Face or Azure model or Azure model catalog or Azure OpenAI service. This is the model catalog. Another thing is the fine tuning. Just I say in the fine tuning is important because some people love to use their business data to fine tuning. So this time you can use the 𝗦𝗲𝗀 or Windows AI Studio work together. Maybe Windows AI Studio is the extension you let you to use fine tuning in Windows environment. But if you have Linux or WSL, environment, we can do the same things to do. So 𝗦𝗲𝗀 can let you to fine tuning, not only focus Windows, maybe Linux is okay. Another thing is if you not choose the local solutions, you can use the AI Studio or Machine Learning Studio to work together. Another thing is the inference. Inference, just I say, you can inference the model with 𝗦𝗲𝗀 to convert the honest model to deploy it in the Windows or Linux or your edge devices. Or of course, you can deploy the honest model in Azure Machine Learning Service. Other is when you finish this, you can publish your model as service and let the generative AI applications to call all the different model service. Just like you can use your love framework, semantic kernel, 𝗦𝗫𝗀𝗀𝗏, AutoGen to finish your Copilot AI agents. Let's see the demo. This is the demo I do in the past. Let's see this. You can see this is my 𝗦𝗲𝗀 configuration. In the configuration, you can see the algorithm and some convert on this model. You can see 𝗦𝗲𝗀 is the as service. You can do everything what you want. It's very easy to run the 𝗦𝗲𝗀 config .json files. You can see the every step. It can help you to run. You can run on the different scenario for your SLM models or data or some frightening or some conversation. You can see this is my Azure ML service 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗃𝗏. This 𝗦𝗲𝗃𝗏 is step by step from my 𝗦𝗲𝗀.config settings. Just like here, this is the fine tuning step by step. You can see the log files. It tells you the fine tuning or some information to talk about this. Another thing is you can see another 𝗦𝗲𝗃𝗏, just like you can use the honest or some converse 𝗃𝗏. But this time, when you finish this with 𝗦𝗲𝗀, you can use different things to do. Just like you can use Azure Machine Learning notebooks to evaluation the model. Just like here, I use the INT4 format to test my fine tuning model. This is very easy to do this. I use the honest model in my notebook to evaluation and the model. Of course, some people will say, this is very traditional things to do. You can evaluation on this model with, but this time I want to use evaluation the model with cell or something like generative AI or the large language model. So this time you can use the prompt to help you to evaluation the SLM models. As say as the Azure OpenAI service large language model. You can see this. This is my another notebook to do this. I import low prompt flow and then to evaluation and the result. You can see the result. The model performance. You can see the model performance and the model result with prompt flow is okay. So this time I think everything is very good for the people to use the prompt Microsoft 𝗦𝗲𝗀 with Azure ML and different technology work together. And then we can see the full scenario, because SLM I always say edge device is the good scenario for the SLM models. This is all the 𝗃𝗏𝗏. Just like here, you can import the data from the Microsoft Fabric. Maybe we can use the Microsoft Fabric Lakehouse and import the data to the Azure ML data store or Azure AI Studio data store. Another thing is you can choose the different model, just like 5.2, 5.3 with Azure model or Azure machine learning model catalogs. And then use Microsoft Oliver to setting different things or data sources or your compute cluster or fine-tuning algorithm, and then convert to different honest runtime, FP16, FP32, or INT4, and deploy it with to different edge device, your AI PC, your IoT, your mobile, and then use the point on photo evaluations your model. This is the full pipeline what I want to do. But in the future, maybe in the 1 or 2 months, I will give you more samples to talk about this, because I find NVIDIA, Intel, and Qualcomm to work together. Maybe I will give you more samples. Please focus my GitHub or some samples in Microsoft Tech Community box. The last thing is the very new. I try to use 5 and Llama Edge and some SLM model, GGOF or Honest work together. You can see the performance. This is the NVIDIA Jetson Silver NX developer key. I use the Jetpack 5.1.2. This is the performance. You can see I use the Honest to run the Llama Edge to work together. You can see the memory is very small, and you can deploy it to the edge devices. Very good performance to do this. I think many people to love the scenario to use SLM in edge devices, because it can let you to focus more or multiple models to do more things for your business scenario. So this time, please focus more to do this. Maybe we can work in the new scenario with SLM and LLM. This time, I finish my session now. Thank you very much. If you have some question, please contact me. Leave your message. I will give you some answers. Thank you to join my session. See you. Bye bye.